This is the BBS Podcast with DiMisa, broadcasting from Bentley stacked streets of luxurious downtown Boca Raton. If you're building, buying, or selling, we've got you. Let's get it on.
All right, so I'm DiMisa. This is Building, Buying, Selling Podcast, episode number 1. And I have somebody pretty special as my very first premiere guest. How do you feel about that? Are you happy to be here?
I'm excited, man.
I think you're maybe a little bit nervous.
Nervous? No, not really.
So I want to introduce you, but at the same time, I want to introduce the show a little bit. And basically, I think this is a good platform to get to know people that you do business with, or maybe people that you've done business with, or that you would like to do business with in a very casual setting. And, after hours, obviously, but in the office, and, share some stuff that hopefully is of value to the people listening, but also for you and me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Joey Duhon is the owner of Drone Home, and he has done a bunch of work for me and for, in my opinion, virtually every realtor that I know, at least on Facebook. The thing that stood out to me most about you is the way that you're able to come to work and make things look effortless, and in turn that takes the stress off of the real estate person or the builder or whomever. I know you do a lot of stuff with restaurants and boats and yachts and that industry as well, but you're there showcasing my product or another person's product. And of course we have this we're a little bit apprehensive when you come because we want it to look the way that we think that it should look. And you're in control of the whole situation. And what I've noticed is that when you do come, you just do what you do and it happens naturally. And then you send the pictures, the videos, a couple days later, and it's like, wow, I can't believe he did this. And he made it look like he wasn't even doing anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's when it clicked for me. Anyway, I want you to tell me about yourself and your company.
All right. So I started Drone Home almost 3-4 years ago. I was a mortgage lender before, so I already worked with real estate agents. So I just kind of fell into it. I bought a drone completely as my aunt was losing her eyesight, which is completely off base of what I'm doing now. But I wanted her to see the beaches, so I bought a drone so I could take pictures of the beach. I thought it was something cool. And one of my agents, I guess his photographer, canceled on him and said, "Hey man, can you come and take some photos?" Like, great. Took the photos, ended up working out really well, and I got 2 phone calls the next day, and it just grew and grew and grew to a point where I couldn't even do lending anymore. I didn't have time for it. So it ended up being just kind of a blessing in disguise, run your own business kind of thing.
So you and I spent some time together about 4 weeks ago. Yeah. It was about a month ago. And we went to Utah and we went out there together, and we went there for work, and we ended up having a really good time on top of the work stuff. But I think one of the things that I noticed when I was with you, and we spent 2-3 days together, 24/7, or not quite 7, but 24/3. And your phone was ringing nonstop.
Yeah.
Okay. And everybody was calling you direct, and you were not only coordinating your schedule and accommodating people and trying to, fill in the voids while you're gone and all that stuff. But I think over the course of any of those 3 days that we were either in the car or at a job site or having lunch or whatever it was that we were doing, I think your phone rang a minimum 15 times for people saying, "Joey, I want to hire you to do this." 15 times a day.
I got lucky. I'll be honest. I've been very fortunate. Like I worked nonstop, which I love to do, but I had a lot of support early on. Like I had a lot of agents that coming out of mortgages were going, "Hey, we'll give you a shot." When I first started out, I was awful. My photos were so bad. I look back at them now and I just kind of laugh, and it's like, it's a learning experience. and it's how you take care of your clients and how you, like, kind of like you said, the first time we worked together, it looked effortless. I was actually really anxious to be here because I was like, man, this is a, $5 million house, beautiful home, brand new, person that I've never worked with. So I'm on the inside, I'm really nervous, but on the outside, I just kind of try to make sure that the client is happy. I want to make sure that that person is comfortable. Take all the stress off of you. I don't mind acting like a duck. Like I always say, like, I'm like a duck. I'm really calm above surface, but below, like, my legs are pedaling. That's exactly how I run my business. So even the whole time we were together, did you ever feel like I was taking away from me filming the experience with you? Because
not at all. And when we had that one meeting in the morning, and we said, look, we're gonna get video of the meeting. And at the meeting there was 15 people, maybe more, and they didn't know you were coming. They didn't know we were going to take video, nothing. Now, granted, we didn't have huge cameras and, a bunch of annoying people circling around, but people do get sometimes a little bit clammy and clam up when you have a camera in front of them. So, and, these are guys that are subcontractors. They're not, in front of a camera very often. They're on the job. So I didn't even notice that you were taking video. And I was like, look, Joe, I know what Joey's doing. I trust him. I'm not going to be like, oh, get a shot from there or do this or do that. I was very comfortable that you were going to get what we kind of anticipated we were going to get. But apparently some of the guys were like, oh, what's this guy doing here? Why is he doing this? I didn't even notice. So the point is, I think as a photographer or videographer, if you could make it seem like you're not there,
exactly,
all of a sudden everything works.
You try to blend in, you try to be a ghost. That's why I didn't say anything to him while we were there. I literally just started filming. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start filming. I'm gonna stay kind of in the background. Like, you even saw I left for a little bit, right? Like,
yeah,
that's when I went and got that shot of the bridge going underneath, to go underneath the golf course and, like, show off all the property side. It doesn't take a lot to make the B-roll work. You just got to know those key shots that you really, really want. And if you notice, every shot in that video is nobody's really looking at the camera. Nobody's really focused. So I made sure that their eye gaze wasn't at me to make sure that we had a smooth shot every single time. Your face was in it, but theirs weren't. So they really didn't have a reason to be nervous because I didn't have that feeling of like, oh, somebody's filming me.
That's exactly what happened, because when I finally saw the final edit that you put together, I didn't remember any of that stuff, and I didn't remember what we were. I mean, you made it very effortless, and I think that's the main message. So you said, like, you come to a shoot and your mind is racing, and you're thinking about what am I going to do, and then the sunlight. Okay, the clouds, and I remember one time there was a pool, and we had pool floats, and the pool floats had to be just perfect. And I'm stressing out, and I'm literally doing nothing. Okay, I'm maybe kicking a pool float to make it go where you want it to go, and you're the one with the drone in the air and the dealing with the weather and trying to get the shot correct. So if I'm just for fun putting my little rinky-dink drone up in the air, the Bluetooth doesn't connect, the Wi-Fi, I have interference, something goes wrong. It's always like a major production. Okay, it's a stress event. But I mean, and you put it up there. I didn't even know you put it up there, and then next thing you know, 2 days later, you have these amazing images. So that's one thing that to me really stuck out about the way you operate and the way that you do what it is that you're very good at doing. And there's a couple other things about your business, and you deal with a lot of people on a daily basis. Okay, you don't have a business where you can work anonymously, or where you can work by Zoom or you have to physically show up, meet the person, go to the physical space or the venue and do your thing and perform, and then go back behind the scenes and make these things look amazing. So, what do you think is the most frustrating thing that you encounter?
Most frustrating thing? I thought about that a little bit because you actually gave me that one before. But the most frustrating thing to me is probably lack of preparation. Like, to me, preparation is everything. And I forget who even said it. The 6 P's, prior planning prevents piss poor performance. I don't even know who said that, but it always sticks in my head. So let's say you call me up, you haven't even visited the property yet that you're listing. And that happens quite frequently where an agent just doesn't have an opportunity to go to the property. I get that. Like, it happens. But I'm going in blind. 99% of my job is going to a place that I've never been and creating something that I hope can flow together and make it look really nice. So the better you're prepared for your shoot that day, and the more preparation you put into it, even if it's just a 10-minute phone call. A lot of agents don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. Half the time you're busy, man. You're running around. You're a builder, realtor. You got a lot going on, so it's tough. But if you take a little bit of time and say, hey, man, we're gonna have to move some furniture. We've got lighting issues. Just checking the little things. Like, if I get hired for a twilight shoot and I show up and the pool light doesn't come on, I can't fix that. Right. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things you can do in post-production, and you can edit certain things in photo. But with video, you can't hide anything. It's just, it is what it is. Here's carte blanche. Like, if it's on camera, it exists in the real world. You can't really fake it. So, to me, my biggest pet peeve is definitely like when people aren't very prepared. I think that there's a lot that you can do to make that work. So I think that if you just take the time and put in the energy and the effort to say, look, I want to make this house look great. Pretty shoots pretty, like we talked about it before. If you have a $1 million home versus a $100,000 home, what you're going to get into is the $1 million home automatically gets the advantage. No matter what, it's bigger. It's probably, better, well kept, and you got more to work with. I have more to show. Like, in one of your houses, I know I'm going to have, the top of the line finishes. I know I'm going to have Miele appliances. I know I'm going to get Sub-Zero fridge. I know I'm going to have things that other houses may not have. Well, when I go into a $300,000 house and you want to film that, what exactly do you want me to film? You know what I mean? Like, I've got at least a minute to impress the person that's watching it. And that's all I care about, is making my agent look good and make darn sure that the house looks good.
You came down here from Texas, and you kind of, as you explained before, you fell into this profession. Before picking up a camera, did you have any experience with a camera? Nothing. Zero.
It was zero.
Did you have an interest in it?
I did. So I like to make fun, mainly little marketing videos and stuff for agents. Like, it was just fun. Okay. It was a little side project that I always did, and I always liked creating stuff. So I've always had a passion for video. I never thought I'd be doing it professionally. I never thought I would have my own business doing this. It was never in the cards, and it just kind of happened.
So you never really had, like a interest in cameras or video production or, broadcasting, and none of that.
Zero.
Okay, so that, to me, that's crazy, because I think, my opinion, in life, there's two people. There's people that can understand how to frame a photo and take a photo, and luckily now we have all these tools with us now, even with the iPhone and all the apps that you can buy that make a pretty amateur photo look pretty good if you know how to make it look. But some people, and I'm not going to name names, but some people, they don't know how to take a picture at all.
Dude, I was one of those people. I was 100%.
They don't even understand the basics. Now, I'm not saying I'm a
I didn't know the basics. My first time. So I actually started doing video. It was video first. I didn't do photos first. A lot of photographers do it the opposite way. They layer in video because they've done photos. Now they're agents or whomever saying, "Oh, hey, can you do like a walkthrough video?" I went backwards. I started with a drone, and then I got a camera. I will never forget my first photo shoot. It was a disaster. I didn't even have a tripod. So for real estate photos, tripod is everything. Like, you want a tripod, you want to make sure that everything's level, you know, your verticals look nice, the angles look nice. Didn't have that. And the first house I ever shot, God, I'll never forget this, was on a railroad track. So the aerials were garbage because it's railroad. And then the interior was all wood, dark wood, which means it's a dark house. So without a tripod, we take 5 or 6 photos in one, blend them together. It was so bad. I still remember calling that realtor back saying, I don't think I'm going to take your money on this one. Like, you can just keep it.
This one's on the house because it actually helped me learn what not to do.
Learning experience. It was so bad.
What do you think the best platform or the best method to market and to get people to know who you are, what you do, and possibly the client list of people that you have?
For real estate photography, for me, it's been Facebook. If you look at my Facebook, it is 90% realtor based, and the other 5% is like friends and family. But I'm looking at other platforms. I look at Instagram all day long. Instagram is great because you can take your portfolio and just put it on there. I think reaching people on Instagram is really hard right now. I think TikTok is exploding. Like, I went from 1,000 followers to 11,000 in less than a month based off of a couple of videos. The difference with TikTok is it's very real, so it's not business based. Like, if you looked at my TikTok, there's nothing about, like, you wouldn't know what I did for a living. You probably wouldn't know. You could figure it out if you tried, but you wouldn't really know I was a photographer or a videographer because it's really just me being goofy and having fun. Like, to me, that's a stress reliever. But as far as growth on platforms, TikTok is probably the best right now for quick growth. I think for longevity, people are still using Facebook, and I think Instagram is kind of wishy-washy in the middle. I'm not really sure what's going on with that.
So 2 questions, and you have you got to give the first answer that you could think of. So, seeing that you're in the business of real estate.
Yep.
And I know you work with a couple really good builders, several. And if you don't work directly with them, you certainly photograph their houses on behalf of, the brokers that are selling them. So first question, who's your favorite realtor?
Oh, that's funny. Not going to answer that. Nope, not answering that question.
So here's the thing. If I was a guest on somebody's podcast, I'd probably say that they were my favorite realtor.
But you're a builder, so.
Well, I'm both.
Yeah, you're a builder first.
Rapper / actor.
I was going to say.
So
you do both.
Yeah, I do both. I do both. So.
You're my favorite realtor, JP.
I was just putting you on the spot with that. That's like saying, are you a Republican or Democrat?
Yeah, you'll never get an answer out of me.
Not the right platform for that. So that was more of a joke. But so I asked you what was one of the most frustrating and annoying things that realtors do, and as somebody that has been in that business for just over 2 decades, and knowing how the business works and the different quirks and personalities of people you deal with, everybody's different, right? Some people come on aggressive because they think that that's going to help the deal,
right,
or help them predominantly, but it doesn't. Some people are easy to work with, and some people take that as, oh, well, I'm going to try to take advantage of this person because they are, cooperative and helpful. So it really, sometimes you do a deal with somebody and everything works just perfect. And it never works entirely perfectly, but in the world of all of these steps that we go through, some work very smoothly, right? Yeah. So what do you think is the most I guess what I'm saying is, instead of focusing on what's the most frustrating thing that realtors do to you, like calling. I remember when we were together, somebody said, on that trip in Utah, they said, well, can you upload the pictures to MLS for me? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that's a very far-fetched request. It doesn't make sense. I know logistically it's not even something that you could physically do for them. I'm sure you would if you could, but you can't. But what makes it easy for you to succeed besides planning from a realtor perspective?
From the realtor aspect, I would say that the easiest thing that a realtor can do is let me do my job. And I know that sounds a little bit pretentious and it comes off brash. But a lot of times realtors will have an idea of what they want in their head. And they do, and that's okay, and that's fine, and I'm 100% on board with that. But you've got to, if you want the type of product that I put out, you've got to give me the creative leeway to do my job. If you have a request for something, or if there's a feature in the house that you want, I mean, my goal is to make you look good, right? Like, I don't go into a project going, oh, this is just another project. I look at every project as an opportunity to say, man, how can I make JP DiMisa look like the most incredible marketing person in the world? Like, that is what I do. I don't go into a project saying, oh man, I've got to shoot this $300,000 house. I say, how can I make this tiny $100,000 space look like $1 million? That's my attitude. I don't necessarily care what size house I'm shooting. I really don't. What I do care about is, can we make it work? And if it's possible, like if it's actually feasible, the realtor, I feel not needs to, but like should at least give me that creative outlet and say, look, you know what you're doing. Obviously, I know how to use a camera. I know how to use audio. I know how to use the equipment. And I know what looks good. So if in my head it doesn't make sense, then I'm not going to do it. If it makes sense, absolutely. Let's swing for the fences. So for me, it's just let me do my job.
So that was something that I think maybe the first time that you came to wherever we were shooting at that time, you know, I have an opinion. You know, I think right. that I have a good, now I'm not saying this is true, but at least I think that I have a logical way of looking at, or my opinion is valid when it comes to photographing or marketing a property. Now, sometimes it's good to really accept other people's opinions and let them take the lead, because you're going to have something that is totally different than what you get accustomed to doing or you think looks good. But naturally, you know, if you have this personality where you know, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the personality that I have. So at first, I'm sure when you came, I was saying, all right, this is what I want you to do, right?
Yeah.
And
you did too. You told me what your thoughts were.
Right. And you know, I hope I didn't come across as being,
you're fine.
You know, however, like to like, hey, you know, you hired me to do my job. Let me do my job. Because trust me, I get that. I receive that sometimes, and it's frustrating. But you know, it's one of those things that I can't. It's just the way I am. But here's the silver lining. The silver lining is when you finally did that job, I realized that I don't need to tell you how to do things. And in fact, when I don't tell you what to do, it comes out far better than what I thought it was going to be the most successful way to approach it. So my message is, you know, I think you do a wonderful job.
Thanks.
And anybody that's considering hiring you or have seen your work and saying, hey, you know, maybe I want to make a switch, or I want to do something different, or maybe have a different look, because the reality is I've worked with all your peers, not all of them, but the majority of them. And, you know, it's nice to get a different look at things. So anybody that's considering having a different, fresh approach on their properties, whether they're super luxury homes, which I know you do, or, you know, more modest homes. Unfortunately, there's no such thing as a modest home anymore in our marketplace.
Right now. Not here.
It doesn't even exist. But, you know, regardless, you know, you're totally capable. I think you're easy to work with. You're fun to be around. You do a great job. You're reliable. And, you know, I thank you for coming and being here. Your first guest ever.
My pleasure, man.
I appreciate you coming, and I think we need to get Anthony on camera real quick. Anthony, helping out tremendously.
It's our guy.
Behind the scenes.
Basically ran this whole production by himself.
Come on, you got to swing around here.
Which was nice.
Let's have a look at you.
Get in here, bro. Yeah, man. So, the man behind the camera, for once not me, which is great.
Yep, he did a very good job.
Thanks for all your help today, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Killed it.
And he's got the Playboy shirt on,
3 cameras and a
the
Playboy.
Italian horn. I mean,
That's it. He's a good Italian boy.
he's from Jersey, as am I, so I really can't
Nothing negative.
Can't say I haven't done that before.
I hope everything goes well with you, and keep on pushing.
I'm gonna keep pushing.
I know.
Yeah, all I do is push.
Awesome, bro.
See you, buddy. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for listening to the BBS Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and give us a review. This has been a JP DiMisa Luxury Homes Podcast production.
Yeah.